A sexual assault trial for a former member of the military continues at the Thunder Bay courthouse. Good evening, and thank you for joining us. A jury trial is taking place this week involving a former medical technician with the Canadian Armed Forces.
64-year-old James Wilks has pleaded not guilty to numerous charges of sexual assault, breach of trust, and sexual exploitation. Wilks is accused of conducting unauthorized breast exams on 3 young women during their military recruitment. The allegations date back between 2005 and 2008, while Wilks was stationed in Thunder Bay and in London, Ontario. The complainants testified in court that they were confused and uncomfortable when Wilks recommended that he examine their breasts during a medical exam. But they didn't report it because they were led to believe it was part of the normal process. That was until they saw Wilks' name in the media reports years later. Between 2011 and 2017, Wilks was convicted on 12 counts of sexual assault and 22 counts of breach of trust and sentenced to more than 4 years behind bars. This latest trial is scheduled to wrap up tomorrow before the jury will begin deliberating.
A walk was held last night to honor and remember missing and murdered Indigenous people.
The 17th annual Valentines Day Memorial Walk brought friends and loved ones together to march from the East End to the Floodway. Jessica Clement reports.
Residents took the time to grieve and remember their loved ones on Tuesday evening as they participated in the 17th annual Valentine's Day Memorial Walk. This year's walk looked a little bit different compared to previous years. Instead of gathering at City Hall, participants met at the base of the East End Bridge on Pacific Avenue and proceeded to walk towards the Nebing-McIntyre floodway. The walk was also rescheduled and held on the 13th. That's the 32-year anniversary of the death of Sandra Johnson, whose sister Sharon Johnson started the Valentine's Day Walk 17 years ago.
She was found at this location, frozen to the Nebing-McIntyre floodway. That murder still has not been solved, but we're doing this to help the family and to help the community and friends because she was everyone's sister.
Charlene Bordeaux was one of the co-organizers for the event, and she says the walk has become routine for the people of Thunder Bay. This year they wanted to end the walk with a small ceremony at the Nebing-McIntyre floodway to honor Sandra's life. Co-organizer Kim Descharmes says the walk gives families who've lost loved ones an opportunity to grieve together. She adds that it's really important for the community to step up.
I can see why putting something together like this might be a little overwhelming for some of the families. It's hard to grieve and coordinate activities at the same time. So that's why I think it's really important that the community step up and participate and collaborate and, of course, share with other people the importance of this walk.
Jessica Clement, TBT News.
An elementary school principal with the Thunder Bay Catholic District School Board is facing a disciplinary hearing ordered by the Ontario College of Teachers after he was accused of professional misconduct. Ryan Gatto is the principal at St. Margaret's School and was principal at Holy Family School before that. The College of Teachers was made aware of complaints by 7 of Gatto's female colleagues over the past 4 years. The allegations include inappropriate touching and inappropriate comments. None of the claims have been proven at this point. The college describes the alleged acts as, quote, disgraceful, dishonorable, or unprofessional. The Catholic Board issued a statement today confirming that the board conducted a thorough investigation and dealt with the matter with advice from its lawyers. The board then submitted its findings to the College of Teachers. A date for Gatto's disciplinary hearing hasn't been set yet.
Just 2 days ago, we told you about a new controlled entrance pilot project coming to LCBO stores here in northwestern Ontario.
It was meant to improve security at the liquor store, but now the Ford government has stepped in and scrapped the program. CTV's Siobhan Morris explains why.
The aim was to prevent theft, cut down on violence inside LCBO stores. But the finance minister is telling the LCBO to go back to the drawing board after hearing serious concerns around privacy.
I'm sure they haven't thought this through at all because it makes no sense.
Anne Kavukian is Ontario's former privacy commissioner.
Privacy is all about control. It's about personal control over the use and disclosure of your data. And obviously, you have no control whatsoever in this scenario.
The liquor store had planned to scan photo IDs of anyone 17 and older just to get in. testing it out at 6 stores in Northern Ontario for a year. The Canadian Civil Liberties Association says it would have been a sweeping violation.
We don't agree to have our bodies searched on the way into and out of a store. We would no more agree to having our data collected and stored.
There was concern about what happens to the door data when there is a theft.
All that data gets turned over to police of people who just walked in, just went to buy a product that they sell at the LCBO.
Mendelssohn Aviv also expressed concern about the locations chosen in the north.
That there could be a disproportionate impact on data sweeps of First Nations people who at the end of the day are just going shopping.
In a statement, the LCBO says that it remains committed to working collaboratively on measures to reduce theft and violent incidents and to ensure safe experiences for customers and employees.
Get a guard to keep an eye on these things. Don't extract people's personally identifiable data,
especially in an age of sophisticated hacking and data breaches.
That was CTV's Siobhan Morris. Charges have now been laid against a Southern Ontario man more than a year after a Thunder Bay snowplow operator was killed in a head-on collision with a transport truck. The fatal crash occurred on Highway 102 near Siston's Corner on December 2nd, 2022. OPP fire crews and EMS responded. The snowplow driver was pronounced dead at the scene. The 2 people in the transport weren't hurt. The transport driver, a 33-year-old man from Brampton, was recently charged with dangerous driving causing death. OPP say fatal crashes can be complex and take time to investigate, but they say thorough and accurate investigations help ensure the motorist who's at fault is held accountable for their driving behavior.
The warmer temperatures we've experienced this winter have officially forced the cancellation of the Thunder Bay ice racing season. Officials with the local auto sport club performed ice checks on Mission Bay over the past few days, with the final decision being made this afternoon. The last time the ice races were completely canceled due to the thin ice was in 1980s. Auto Sports Club President Gary Adamko went out to the racing area near Chippewa Park with the group's competition chair to test the ice again today. Unfortunately, they discovered that the ice is still below acceptable safety standards. This led to their decision to not proceed with any races this weekend, and they've also decided to cancel the entire 2024 season. Adamko explained it wasn't an easy decision, but this is something that's out of their control.
It's nothing that the club has invented. It's engineering specs, and we go for a minimum of 16 inches of ice, and that's agreed upon with our insurance. And unfortunately, as I mentioned, we're below that, and so we are not comfortable putting our plow trucks onto the ice, and if we're not going to put our plow trucks on the ice, we are not going to have a concentration of cars competing under those conditions.
After all of the time and preparation that went into the ice racing program, Adamko says he was disappointed to make the final call. He said the racing community will definitely miss the door-to-door action and all of the fun they have in the winter, but for now they are going to start planning the Summer Autocross Series, and the group looks forward to bringing back ice racing next winter.
Fort William Historical Park will once again bring family activities and Indigenous culture together at the Voyageur Winter Carnival this weekend.
Officials say the 2-day event will look a little different as the warm winter made it difficult to hold some of the usual activities. Jessica Clement has more.
Fort William Historical Park is ready to celebrate the season as it hosts the annual Voyageur Winter Carnival this upcoming weekend. The event will have numerous indoor and outdoor activities taking place, including artisan demonstrations, horse-drawn wagon rides, youth and adult contests, snow sports, and live entertainment. The carnival will also feature dog sledding rides, but only on Sunday. Due to the warmer winter and lack of snow, Communications Officer Emily Carr admits there'll be a couple activities missing, including curling and skating on the Cam River.
There are some that we've had to change. Unfortunately, there's no large tubing hill. Instead, on the historic site, we have a kids sliding hill, so a little smaller, but even more fun. We also, unfortunately, don't have the giant snow maze, but instead this year we have a Zorball track. So a Zorball is those giant clear hamster balls. So you can climb in there. We have a few of those and run around in the little track we're building for that.
The carnival will run on Saturday the 17th and Sunday the 18th from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Carr says this year they decided to not hold the event on the holiday Monday to give residents a chance to check out everything else going on in the city.
There's lots of other things happening in the community on Monday. Like the city has their event on Monday. So it's always been sort of like a competition, come on out to us or our community partners, and we've already got 2 days. So people can go try different activities on the Monday.
Tickets for the Winter Carnival can be purchased in advance on the Fort William Historical Park website or in person at the event. Jessica Clement, TBT News.
The season of love is upon us, and some people were treated to a Valentine's Day surprise. The Thunder Bay chapter of Voices of Harmony made its way around the city, serenading people at the request of their loved ones.
Can ever say you'll be mine.
For $50, these lovers were surprised at their home or business. They received a rose and 4 songs from the chorus group. The annual Valentine's Day event is an important fundraiser, with the money raised being used to buy new music and learn songs to help them perfect their harmonies. Local President Rod Johnson says on top of the funds that are raised, he loves doing it because of the reactions from recipients.
We get people that are embarrassed, we get people that are excited, that are touched. We've seen tears, we've seen a little bit of trepidation because they don't know what all these people are showing up for. But the reactions are always very positive in the end because they realize that the love songs are coming from a loved one.
I was definitely caught off guard, and I was definitely surprised by the amount of people that showed up and how beautiful the music sounds with so many people there.
The Voices of Harmony have a spring concert coming up on May 10th, but the venue is yet to be determined.
Yeah, a little bit of a surprise.
Oh,
for
yeah.
if you're somebody and you show up and you have a whole bunch of people singing to you and you're not sure why until all of a sudden you realize, oh, right, it's Valentine's Day. And with that, we turn to the weather. Fiona, not a bad day out there today, a little warmer than yesterday.
Yeah, it's a little warmer, a little snowier than yesterday, but that was after a night that was almost a carbon copy of the previous night. We had a low of -15, wind chills around -19, but throughout the day, winds were pretty calm for much of it, gusting at times up to about 14 kilometers per hour. Now, we had that snow a little bit in the overnight hours and for much of the morning, and then it kind of gave way to a lot of cloud, but we did warm up to the freezing mark, so we were once again above normal for this time of year. If we take a look at the region, you can see that little pocket of snow to the west and just cruising just north of Thunder Bay for most of the afternoon. If we take a look at the actual temperatures, well, they're fairly seasonal in many locations. To the west, Fort Frances had a lot of cloud. They're currently at -4. They range from a low of -5 to a high of -2. So not a big difference between the overnight and the daytime highs. And at this hour, sitting right in the middle with a wind chill of -9. Red Lake was a little cooler last night. They dropped down to -9. During the day, they warmed up to -4, but at this hour, they're sitting at -7, so it's starting to cool down once again, and they had that light snow off and on for much of the day. And that snow, as you saw earlier in our radar, moved through into Greenstone. They had light snow for most of the day. It was very cold last night. Up in the Greenstone and Armstrong region, temperatures plummeted to -24, but they have rebounded quite nicely. They're currently at their high of -4, despite wind chills closer to about -8. And similar temperatures at this hour as you head down into Nipigon, Marathon, Wawa. Sault Ste. Marie had some overnight snow, mainly cloudy for most of the day, but it looks like the snow is rearing its head once again with wind chills hovering around -7. Now, here in the city of Thunder Bay tonight, if we do have any few lingering flurries, that snow is expected to taper off and disappear over the next couple of hours. We're looking at mostly cloudy skies overnight and a low of -11, although wind chills will feel closer to -14. That's with winds from the northwest at 15 kilometers per hour. And then Well, we've got kind of a mixed bag over the next few days, and I got to tell you, it's going to be one of those things where you're going to want to prepare for just about anything to happen over the next few days, but don't expect extreme cold, but don't expect summer weather either, somewhere in the middle.
I like that we shouldn't expect extreme cold, but we do appreciate the warning. Thanks a lot, Fiona. All right, we turn our attention to Missouri now. It was supposed to be a celebration after the Kansas City Chiefs won their 3rd Super Bowl in 5 years over the weekend. But today, at the Super Bowl parade, it was marred by a fatal shooting. We'll have details on that and more when your news hour continues after the break.